No warranty. Shoot, I'm taking this back. You grandma's snot rag. Plethora of diagnostic equipment. Dealer's choice, red or black. Time well wasted. Harbor Freight EFI fuel system. How does all this crap go together? Gotta be a better way, a better way. The whole car apart before I get done with this. Sound like rocks in a blender. There's dirt dauber. I don't know what you guys are all worried about. Fill her up. We have officially entered into the snake oil portion of the show. I can't think of a single thing that could go wrong. Might burn it to the ground. Ding ding, I'll take $5 of your premium. If you think you hate it now, just wait till you drive it. I don't know why I bought this. Welcome back to the Fixin Rusty YouTube channel. I am your host, Rusty, and today we're going to Wally World. No, we're not going to Wally World, but we are, I think, we are going on Poverty Tour. PBG, Pole Barn Garage's Poverty Tour. And I need a rig that I can take on that. Something really reliable, really dependable, and has a lot of space. Something I could camp out of. And what better thing to do but to buy a new car and not take this. So we're gonna take this, that's the plan. This is a 1989 LTD Country Squire, I believe, I think. That's a mouthful, it's a lot. Thanks, Ford. But anyways, this one's been off the road for a while. I think, I don't know. I think that's 2013, so roughly 13, 14 years, I believe. And the goal is to get it running and driving. I think, now, this is just me, you know, my thoughts running wild here, but just the early results say that the fuel pump is bad or something along the lines of the fuel system. And we'll get this thing home, get it off the trailer, get it in the shop or at least on the street. And we'll kind of go through it together and show you why. I think that's what's wrong, but I don't know. It could have a host of other issues. I really haven't done anything with it. Old boy I bought it from, he did put a jump pack on it. It did crank, does not start. I think he told me it's a no crank, no start situation, according to the auction that he bought it at. So I don't know, he bought it, kind of parked it, didn't do anything with it. So here we are, we get to pick up the pieces, figure out what the hell's wrong with this thing. So I'm not really gonna work on it out here. So let's go ahead, get this thing hooked up, get the truck hooked up, and we'll drag this thing home, get it unloaded, try to get it in the shop or at least somewhere closer to all my tools, and we'll dig into it, get started on it, and see what we find out. Thanks for coming back. We've got our Grizz wagon, whatever this thing is, unloaded here in our shop, street. So the goal today is to try to get this thing running enough under its own power to hopefully get it in my garage so I don't have to work at it out on the street. That'd be nice. But before we do that, we got to take a walk around it and see exactly what we're working with and kind of get a feel for it. As I said earlier, or yesterday, she's a 1989 LTD Country Squire LX, I think. And she's got that, you know, that beautiful wood grain. That's what drew me to it. You know, I've wanted one of these piles for a while, so there it is. LTD Country Squire LX, or LX is missing there. That's okay. Where'd she come from? Family Ford, Viet Cong, New Jersey. Viet Cong, New Jersey. But you wouldn't know it by looking at the car because it is very solid. I'd expect a New Jersey car to be a rust bucket, but it's not, at least not yet. Not too much damage on it. Let's see, we got a little bit down here on the trim. It's not too bad right there. She's got the turbines. Kind of got that General Lee vibe going on there. Little whiskey dent back here where our emblem's missing. Not bad. Let's go check the inside of this thing. Roof's good, got the roof rack. That might come in handy for Poverty Tour, assuming this rig is the one that makes it. That's the goal. And I think our paint's gonna, you know, I think our paint's gonna come around really good too. She was Austin Derby Brats, so Texas Roller Girl. So we got some roller derby action at some point in its life. And yeah, that's the interior. It's got one. Looks, you know, probably a lot like what you remember when you visited your grandparents. It's got that smell too. Kind of got a musky grandma and grandpa were here kind of thing going on. A little bit of wear on the seat, but you know, you'll have that with these things, these cheap cars. A little crispy there. It has carpet. It's not bad. A little dirty, but that'll come around okay. Knobs and stuff. I'm sure this is all perfectly fine. A little bit of wear and tear. It says, what's it say? 80, 84, 5, 72. So I'm gonna guess 184. A little bit of wear on the pedals there. Nothing crazy. What's that do? I don't know. Got some buttons down here. We got to figure out what all this stuff does because I have no clue. What kind of paperwork we have? This is the auction paperwork. So I bought it from a guy that bought it from an auction that no warranty. Shoot, I'm taking this back. Charitable auto recycling, it looks like at some point. So this was must have been a donated deal. I don't know if it was, you know, because it's junk or because it was, I don't know. Somebody's been monkeying around under here, and I know I'd mentioned fuel pump. That was the suspicion. Yeah, we got a lot of stuff messed with under here, but my understanding is Ford just like to leave empty connectors for fun. I think like Easter eggs, you know, just to see, hey, try to find the other end of this one. Ha, it's not there. So I don't know. I don't know that any of this has actually been messed with or people were just poking around trying to figure out what the hell to do with it. So, oh, there's our quarter emblem that's missing. That's a good find. Nothing else in there though of any significance. Got your standard radio that every Ford had back in that era. Trip computer stuff. Oh, there's our little thing there. Might need that. Windshield looks good. Somebody was keeping up with the service, it looks like. Okay, starting fluid. The ministry. Oh, what do we got here? 89 something or other. Paid state inspection. Well, that's been a minute since we've had those. Any good stuff down here? Anything? I don't even know what that is, but no, nothing good there. Okay. All right. Premium sound. You grandma's snot rag. Okay. Let's keep moving. Keep on trucking here. You can see the mildew. She's a little moist in here. I don't care to speculate as to how's this open there. Oh, that's fun. You could just smoke wherever back in the day, couldn't you? I mean, just burn one wherever. Front seat, back seat, don't matter. Get it all up in your lungs. We're gonna have to do a little work here. This is not factory. A little bit of something on the seats. I don't think that's gonna come off, but that's okay. It's not bad. Just dirty, you know, dirty. Headliner's nice. See one little mark or one little rip back there, but it's not sagging and it's here, so that's a pretty good deal for a station wagon. We got a little dry rot, not bad. I don't think there's anything in here, is there? No. Just saw a relay laying here, so you know, we're picking up the breadcrumbs. There's a relay, some starting fluid, some monkey business. Yeah, okay, some wood grain. Anything in this ash? Boy, you could just literally hotbox everybody in here. Okay. Oops. Uh-oh, I think I broke it. Shoot. I'll just, oh, damn it. figure that out. What does this do? Ah, that's how you flip the seats down. Okay. How do you flip them back? To work on that. I think I broke it. Damn it. Okay, gas. Oh, shit. Did we get lucky? Is it unlocked? It is, okay. Hell, it's even moldy in the gas cap. Doesn't smell good. Definitely smells old. I'm hoping it's empty or close to empty. Had some good tires on it. Falcons, she got really good tread, but they're all dry rotted. I looked these over. They're all very dry rotted, so they'll probably get us around the neighborhood, but that's about it. Let's see what's in the back here. How's this? And I think these have those magic tailgates that turn into a tailgate slash whatever you call it. And of course, this is, you know, why you gotta have one of these. It's because she's got the kids won't quit yapping seats. So you throw them back here. A lot of mildew in here. She definitely had some moisture down in here. So this is gonna be a bit of a challenge. It already smells better than it did when I bought it. Okay, it's fine. Here's our air cleaner. Is that moist? I get wet? Definitely gonna need an air filter. That one doesn't look too good. Free jumper cables. You can never say no to a pair of free jumper cables. Keep that. We're gonna need these. We can take these out. I know we're gonna need that. And how does this go back down now? Oh, I know. Yep. That's kind of handy. Oh, what do we got? UPS info notice. This might be fun. I might need to keep that. Just randomly put this on the neighbors' doors. Be fun. Storage. Uh-oh. Nearly empty quart of 1030, or 5-gallon jug of 1030. I can see what we're in for here. But at least they were using the good stuff. Oh, okay, an AC compressor. That's fun. So power steering leaks too. Oh, good. Stock gas cap. That's going back on, if it's any good. Somebody was trying to keep the seats good. Why would we keep an old compressor? Why would we? I don't know why we'd keep that, but it did. What's this? Oh, wow. New headlight. That's new old stock. Okay. New headlight. Okay. It's like a blanket, you know, just in case of emergency. Got to be prepared. Well, that's the tour on the inside. Let's go ahead and see if we can get the hood popped and see what we're working with there. Okay. Well, there it is. The venerable 5.0 liter 302 Windsor EFI. You know it, you love it. Ford used it forever. I'm hoping we get some decent gas mileage out of this thing. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little bit scared of it. It's a little more modern than I like, but you know, when the Griswold wagon comes calling, you do what you gotta do. Yeah, this is all the relays. Just kind of hanging out here. So what the, I don't know why that's empty. Maybe another Ford Easter egg diagnostic deal, I don't know. Probably gas. I'm hoping that's gas. I don't know, a lot of homeless around here, you never know. Anyways, let's see. Okay, batteries. That does not look ideal. Rat turds in the air cleaner, yeah, that's standard issue stuff. Let's just check some fluids and see. Looks like we got brake fluid. It looks dirty, but yeah, I can't see anything in there. Wiper blades, gonna need that, add that to the list. Oh yeah, oil looks nice. Looks like they recently changed it. She's a tick over full, like a quart. But I'd rather be a quart over than a quart under, I guess. Let's walk around here and check the transmission and see what that looks like. Okay, pretty clean. Yep, not bad. Okay. That looks good. Now, if that hasn't been messed with recently and that's why it looks good, then we're okay. But looks good so far. AC retrofit 134A 402. Can't really see what that says, but she's been retrofitted at some point, so that is good. That is good. If it still works, doubt it. What do we got here? Vacuum hose routing. It's probably gonna be something I need. Anyways, you get the point. That's the rig. So it looks like a pretty solid car overall, really. Is it just simple as a fuel system issues or electrical issue going on? I don't know. Got a fresh battery for it, so I guess we'll start there, throw the battery in it, and see what happens. I went ahead and I did order new battery cables for it too. This thing, these don't look very good. And if we've got some grounding issues, that's gonna be something to address. So I guess we'll start with the battery and see what happens. Well, before I got started, I kind of wanted to trace these two vacuum lines that went underneath the battery as to what they were for, just before I put the battery in, and here they are. That one is broken off. This appears to be the evap canister, which is, I don't know, probably important for this. I traced these. One of them goes up to the intake manifold, it looks like, and the other one I think goes back to the gas tank. That would make the most sense. And the other concern I see just right away is some moisture here on those transcooler lines, but they were green, so I can tell it's coolant dripping down here. And I don't know if you'll be able to see it. I can't quite get under there, but kind of trace it and follow it up there. It looks like it's coming off the bottom of the water pump, maybe somewhere around up in that region. So we've got something going on with the cooling system. We're gonna have to address that. And this lovely crispy belt here. This kind of reminds me of the last time we worked on an LTD was out here in the street, all the way back to the beginning of the channel last summer. Like I said, this isn't great. I got new cables, but we'll try these first just to see if we can get enough to get it inside, if it'll work. That's the goal, get it in and get it up in the air so I can actually do some work on it. I'd rather not work on it out in the street any more than I have to. Nailed it, 2 points. Yeah. Didn't hear anything explode, that's a good start. There was no hold down on this, so basically just relying on the AC lines to hold it in. Probably went right there. I guess this comes down and that kind of, there's enough interference. It's an interference fit. Tell the birds to keep it down. Come on, baby. There we go. She sounds good. Really good, okay. Well, I guess that'd have been something if it would have just fired right off. Our belt is trying to fire right off. That is coming apart. Let me turn the key and just see if we hear fuel pump of any sort running. And then we can also, I would guess, amongst all this, this is probably the fuel pump prime. So if we send, I guess, a ground signal, I think that's how this stuff works. Send a ground signal to this. We should kick the fuel pump on if it's working, or if the electronics between here and there are working. So let me turn the key and see what happens. Listen up. Tell the birds to be quiet. Damn it, birds. Is that a cigarette burn? Huh.
No, all I hear is construction and birds.
All right, let's try it again. Okay, quiet. Shh.
I don't hear anything.
Can't hear the fuel pump. That doesn't mean it's not working, just means I can't hear it too, possibly. I guess we're just gonna do construction non-stop around here. Okay. Gentrifying, I think that's what they call it around here. Anyways, the green one is typically the fuel pump relay from, I think, what my research tells me. So let's see if this thing makes a sound or a noise. I'm trying to get it close enough to where I can kind of hear it and do the key at the same time. So you have to bear with me a little bit. Yeah. Y'all hear that? Listen close. Yeah, we got something going on. Okay, so we seem to have a relay working, it would appear. I don't hear a fuel pump coming on. I'm leaning fuel pump. Let's try to see if this will do anything. We'll try to ground this out and see if anything happens back there, if we can make some noise or a fire, an explosion or something. All right, let's get some more tools. Plethora of diagnostic equipment. All right, dealer's choice, red or black. We'll go with black because that's supposed to be the ground. Do you have to have the key on for this or no? Well, the Sienna sounds kind of racy. All right, let's see what we get.
It's either the quietest fuel pump in the world or it's not on.
Let's try key on. The damn grackles.
Nothing. I don't hear anything.
I hear the relay clicking. I could totally be doing this wrong, and that's entirely possible. I should probably look, but I think that's what that is. I'm gonna do a little bit of research on it, make sure I am doing this correctly. I may have to look up some wiring too if we get into an issue. I wish we could get to the top of the tank easily, or this, I guess it's on the front of the tank on these, I think. And just check right at the pump and put power to the pump and see if it works. But I don't know that I'm gonna be able to access it like that. So I might crawl around there and look at that too, and that would tell us. So anyways, time to do a little bit of research.
Well, this may not be the best content in the world, but it's content, right? Come off there. I think my face is gonna catch this. I think that's where we're headed right now. Should I move it? Is it heavy? Stay tuned. Yep, yep. Well, that's an odd shaped tank. Yeah, there was no chance of ever getting to that pump. Okay, let's see if we can get this thing out of here.
Show and tell time. Okay, what I thought was the fuel pump test lead, diagnostic lead is not. I don't know what this is. I got to looking closer. I just assumed it was because it was a single wire. Well, you look in the fuel pump relay, there's two big wires. One of them goes back to the inertia switch. That's this orange one. Yellow is obviously a power in because of how heavy it is. So there's in and out. Well, it's one of these other two has to be the ground, right? So I'm looking at that red one. I don't see a red one going anywhere in here besides a relay. So that's not it. So we need one that goes to a port. Well, there's this other tin, I would say, with a green stripe. And the only place I found it comes with two connectors right here on this. Hear it? Here on this big connector. So I've got this grounded. And we'll go back and check and see what we've got now. I went ahead and pulled the inertia switch out of it. Here's our inertia switch. So we got orange and pink here. Orange coming in from the relay. Pink will come out of the switch. And she'll head on down the road to the fuel pump. And here you go. Ground the other side of this, and we've got constant 12 volts right there. So I am to the point we are at inertia switch or fuel pump. Probably fuel pump. I'm gonna try to crawl underneath, see if I can test it directly there. I would test across these, but I don't know that there's really, once you plug it into the switch, there's no way to get a probe anywhere to check it. I guess I could run a jumper wire across there and see if the pump turns on. If it does, then here's your problem. If it doesn't, then it's probably the pump. We're set up again. We got good voltage. Let's try our jumper wire here. Made up this thing and see what happens. Okay, y'all listen real close for the pump, okay? Zzz. Just kidding. Made you jump. Hey-oh. We got sparks. I think we're in. Let's see if we hear anything underneath. Yeah, I don't hear anything. Dead pump, bad ground, I think's where we're at. Well, I was gonna try to test the fuel pump, but I don't seem to be able to get to the connector with the tank in. Unplug this one. I think this is just a level sender because it's, trace it up here. I don't know if you can really see that, it's kind of dark. I see a white wire and looks like maybe a black. They look pretty lightweight. And then this connector here is our pink wire, definitely from the inertia switch, and a black wire, which is presumably the ground for the pump. And they run from the floor here and then around. There's a connector to disconnect kind of up on top of the tank. And I don't think there's any way I'm going to be able to get anywhere near that. So we're just going to drop the tank, you know, quit screwing around. If you can see that. Some dents right here. So either they put a floor jack under here or banging on the tank trying to see if the pump would work. There it goes. There she goes. Little lube will get her every time. Good thing I bought a new one of those. Let's go ahead and check this pump now. So let's move our face, because if it does work, it's going to pump it right at me. Okay. Let's try it that way. That would have been something, wouldn't it? Maybe I should have just done it. Nothing. Let's try the other way just to make sure. And it's only reading 8.2 when we give it power, but that should do something. Pump seems to be dead. Dead player. Okay. Well, good to know that wasn't time well wasted. Doesn't look great. Not great. Yeah, let's just buy a new one of these, I think. You can get this whole assembly reasonably priced. I think it's like, I found one famous brand, that'd be CarQuest. That would be Advance Auto. Through Rock Auto for like 60 bucks. So that's cheaper than 160 or whatever all the other ones are. There you go, there's a handful. Guess we should probably just get a tank and forget about all the cleaning. Yeah, right call. There we go. Just had to threaten it. Okay. Save that gasket. I might need that. Oh. Oh. Well, that'd be why the float doesn't work. Kind of need a float to float. We left off yesterday. Our fuel system was a wreck. Tank looks like it'd been at the bottom of the Titanic. Everything in there's junk. We need all the parts. So spent some time yesterday afternoon, got all that ordered. In the meantime though, I would like to get this car out of the street into my garage still. And in order to do that, we've got to get fuel to it. And this is an EFI car, not a TBI. This is an EFI, so it's got to have a little more pressure than that. And I don't really know, there's no bowl to fill. I'm trying to think of a good way to get fuel to this thing so we can get it to, first off, see if it's even going to run or not. So we need some sort of fuel system. Fuel tank won't be here for a week. At least that's what Rock Auto says as of now. So this is what I came up with. This is a patent pending Harbor Freight EFI fuel system. Now I know what you're thinking. Harbor Freight doesn't make EFI fuel systems. And you wouldn't be totally wrong, but you wouldn't be totally right. So here's what we got. Of course, you have to have non-EFI fuel hose as part of your kit. That comes standard. And you need a pump, which I have. I happen to have a pump. Found this in the cabinet. This is for like an OBS Chevy Vortec fuel pump. I think I got it for an LS swap that I hadn't done or never did. Anyways, that'll work. We need a power source. There's our power source. All right, we've added the race gas to our fuel system here. It's supposed to be submerged. That looks roughly submerged. We'll go negative. Of course, I did both wires in red. I don't know why I did that. That must be backwards. Anything? There it goes. Okay. That's a masterpiece. I went ahead and added our return line too. We got to have that. So we got our return line back in our bucket. Our fuel system's close. Oh, and you know, just so we're taking the utmost safety precautions, we're gonna go ahead and put a lid on it. All right, next step is let's try it, see if it leaks, and if it doesn't leak, we'll go ahead and prime the fuel system, see what happens. All right, here goes nothing. Okay. And we just had a shower too, so now it'll make it extra hard to tell if it's leaking. And just so we're clear, none of this is high pressure fuel line or clamps. So, you know, don't do this at home. I think I saw our Schrader valve over here. Yeah, there she is. Okay. All right, y'all stand back. Oh, there we go. Yep, pressure. Okay, let's try it. Smells like gas in here. Oh, almost. Let's give it a second to think about it. Might have some air in the system still. She don't sound too happy. Well, let's give it a minute. The popping is interesting and not normal. Smells terrible. Oh, well, melt came off. That's that burning smell. That's okay, you don't need that. Okay, let's shut it off and try to get it to where we can get it moved inside. Here's what our bucket of fuel looks like just after running it, you know, that short time. It is awfully murky now. So we definitely had some nasty fuel in there and probably in the injectors. It probably is just, we may need to end up going through some stuff in the top end of the fuel system, but some junk in there, that's for sure. All right, it sort of runs. Let's see if we have a transmission. Okay. No power steering. Oh, we got reversed. We have brakes. We do. Shit. got drive. Yeah, we got fuel slosh. Yeah, we got nooch. Yeah. Uh-huh. Another drive gear. Uh-huh. Reverse. Wait. Oh, yeah, there it is. There it is. Okay. All the way in low. Yeah, my in gear. There it goes. That seemed to take a bit. Okay, it's got something. Low fuel. My bucket's full. All right, let's see if we can move some cars around and get this thing in the garage. I think she'll do it now. Okay. See what we can do here with no power steering. All right. Yeah. Off the curb. Get off the curb. Crank. Crank. Oh, the brakes are touchy. They're touchy. All right, we're doing it. We're doing it. We're doing it. Oh yeah, they're touchy. Okay, come on, baby. In we go. Shoot the gap. I'd say that was pretty successful. It sounds like it's running a little bit better. I'm not sold on the transmission yet. It seemed a little soft engaging there at first, and the fluid was up on the stick, so I don't know. It looked good though, so I don't know. I have to look into it. But it runs, it drives, so that's a start. I think we may have something to work with here. So I guess we'll get it up on the stands, kind of take a look at it, and try to figure out where we need to dig into it. But the most important thing is now it's in here, so now I can turn on the air conditioner. All right, we got it up on the air quotes lift. Let's check and see what we can see. Some mystery fluid here on the U-joint, that's fine. Where's it? Doesn't really look that wet right there, but I don't know where else it'd come from. So note that we probably need a tail shaft seal at some point. The frame's really solid. Floors look great. I mean, she's solid. She's solid as a rock so far. Fuel lines look great. None of this stuff has any rust. Man, there's no corrosion on this car under here. Hard to believe it ever spent any time in New Jersey. That wouldn't kill anybody if that was a glass pack, would it? I don't know. Hey, she's got H-pipe. Look at that. She's got a factory high performance exhaust system right there. Pinion seal looks good. Everything is good there. We have the venerable, is it venerable? I think that's the right word. 8.8 Ford rear end. Air shocks. Yes, probably gonna want to put some air shocks on this B. I will be loading this thing down with parts and tools and everything else under the sun, so it's probably not a bad idea. We got a little moisture under here. A little moisture up there. I don't know if you can see that. I did hit the brakes one time earlier today driving in. So I had it on the brain to do wheel cylinders and brake hoses, and that looks like that's where we're gonna be headed. I don't see any moisture on this side, but where there's one, the other one's not far behind. Well, there's our leak. Okay, that's what's leaking. Well, that's an easy enough fix. Note that, looks like our drain plug, probably the gasket on it. Yeah, these are the original shocks, I think. But it would behoove me to put some shocks on it just for shits and giggles. Yeah, the bushing's kind of blowed out on these front shocks. I do want it to ride nice, you know. This is a lot of miles. All right, let's get out from underneath here. Good morning. We're back at it on the station wagon, on the Grizz wagon here. Spent yesterday afternoon just kind of going through some stuff, going over some things, trying to see what works, what doesn't, what I could quickly fix, what I couldn't. and then ordered a bunch of parts from Rock Auto on it. And so we'll have a lot of stuff coming in the next week or so on that. But today I figured we can go ahead and try to get the cooling system sorted out so we can just try to drive it around the block a few times, do something with it, maybe make our fuel system a little more permanent while we're waiting on parts there. So that's going to be the goal. I've got a water pump, hoses, all that stuff coming here this morning. And we'll get in here and try to get that addressed, get the belt on it, check the charging system, see if that's working. I did go through and look at the brakes last night. They do look pretty good for the most part. Pads look good, calipers seem to be okay. Check the thickness on our rotors here, and they are within spec. They're not to the minimums, and they're not really too badly worn, too badly grooved or anything. Brake hoses actually look pretty good, but I'm gonna go ahead and replace them. They're cheap, so I got those coming from Rock Auto. What else? Oh, on the rear. We did have some issues on the rear. I'll show you what we got going on here. And this probably just started from driving. You really can't see it too well there, but anyways, if I kind of squish that, you can kind of see some fluid coming out of there. And so we've got wheel cylinders starting to go. Same thing on the hoses back here. They look good, but you know, looks can be deceiving. These are old, could be collapsed, but everything else looks good here. Dirty, a lot of brake dust, as you can see there. Not too concerned about it. Our exhaust looks really nice. That's, you know, that's good. This was the bad one. Wheel cylinder there is seeping pretty good, and you can see down there on the drum. Started leaking out of there pretty good also. So we are gonna need a little attention here on the brakes, but overall not too bad. I'm gonna start with wheel cylinders, brake hoses, just the usual there, and I think everything else we're gonna roll with for now. I guess let's start ripping it apart, see what we're getting into. Cold air intake, I like it. Come on off of there. Come on. Ooh, don't go through the radiator. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ugh. Out of there. Okay. And out. Okay. Now the question is, how does all this crap go together? Ooh, a little crispy in there. Let's see if we can just put that, yeah, perfect, in the bucket. There we go. That's, yep. Okay. Let's see, how do you take the tensioner loose? That's gotta be a better way. Gotta be a better way, a better way, a better way, yeah. I'll have the whole car apart before I get done with this. Oh, don't drop it. It's probably expensive. I guess that's supposed to sound like rocks in a blender. What is this, an air pump, smog pump? I'm sure that's fine. There's our ground cable for our battery. This is probably the best time to do this while we're in here. There's a dirt dauber. Get out of there, dauber. Get out of there. There we go. Okay, what just fell in there? She's off. Definitely has been into before. Way too much blue RTV. Water pump off, you can definitely tell somebody's been in here before. We got that pretty blue silicone. I don't think that's Ford spec stuff. It's not great, but I've seen a lot worse. It's coming out the bottom. Coming out the bottom pretty good. If you can kind of get in there and see that. There you go. All the brownish residue was all from leaking from the bottom. It was dripping down on the transmission lines coming out there. I'm gonna pull the thermostat housing too. You can see she's got a lot of barnacles as well. Looks like the bottom of a oil tanker. Well, a bit of an issue. Let me show you. Over here cleaning up our mating surface with the surface disc wheel here. And I don't know how clearly this will show up. See if I can zoom in on it here a little bit. There we go. Get in there. Right here at the very bottom, a little notch. And yeah, I mean, it's definitely enough. You can catch your fingernail in it. That was probably the source of our leak. That would make sense. It almost looks intentional, like it was made that way, but it's not. It's not supposed to be like that. I think what we'll have to do here is that's going to be, I mean, RTV might get it, but I don't know for how long. I'm not replacing that timing cover with that. So I think we'll do a little JB weld, kind of build it up just a little bit, make a dam there maybe with some tape, get it built up, and then we'll go back in and kind of sand it down, level it off real gently. And then I think we'll be good. We'll maybe let that cure overnight, and then I'll just have to wait till tomorrow to put it back together. But that almost certainly is what was leaking, because it was leaking right out of the bottom of the water pump area. That's almost got to be what it was. So anyways, at least it's a good thing we caught it now. We'll get it taken care of and get it addressed. Right now I think might as well just get this thing back on the ground. I'm going to push it outside. Well, actually it'll run. Plug the coil back in. Back it outside, and we'll see if we can get a good coolant flush on it. Oh yeah, we lost all the fuel pressure last time. This could take a minute. There it goes. There we go. Perfect. I don't know what you guys are all worried about. Spoke too soon. All right, let me check something. Ooh, hey. I think we're sucking on the bottom. Fill her up. You guys don't fill your cars up to the back window? Try again. Oh, back her up. Beep, 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 beep. No check engine light. Winning. There it is. That's what's left of it. I put some tape across, side, underneath to try to keep it from getting everywhere. And I think that'll set up good. Then I'll come back, and basically all I'm worried about is this flat surface on the top. We'll come back and sand that flush, and we should be good to go. Well, back at it. See if we can get this water pump in here. You guys missed all the fun. Went ahead and replaced battery cables, got both of them done. Had to come up with a new little ground wire here. Negative cable, positive cable, made them both black, because that way, you know, for thieves. And what else do we do? Oh, the evap canister. I'm not gonna lie, first time and probably the last time in my life I'll ever replace an evap canister. But I put it on there because the nipple was broken off for one side that went to the tank vent. But the other one has some kind of solenoid thingy on it that goes to the intake, which, looking at a diagram, apparently it's to, well, if it's to the intake, that's a vacuum leak. So I figured that's important. So that was completely gone and busted off, and the canister is completely full of water and weighs about 30 pounds. So we replaced it. That's the moral of the story. Anyways, thermostat housing's on, thermostat's in, basic stuff. And the vacuum hose replacement, that was kind of a pain, cobbling together fittings. And anyways, Ford doesn't make it easy, because it'll be 3/8 on one end and like 1/4 on the other, and you have to, it's a mess. So, but we figured it out. Had enough parts and pieces laying around here to get it done. So the chore now is just to get this water pump on. I've already cut our bypass hose to the right length. And so that's done. Oh, yep, about did it, didn't I? About did it. I got to talking and almost screwed it up. Don't forget your thread sealer on these bolts that do go into the water jacket and the block. Okay, stay. I will say some of this stuff has been a little bit of a challenge to go through. These Ford water pumps, not as easy as a Chevrolet, that's for sure. But we're making it. Oh, I don't think I mentioned first thing I did was we came in here and sanded down that JB weld from, well, it's been a couple days now. Didn't get to work on this thing any yesterday. But yeah, so that was sanded down flush-ish, as flush as I could get it. And that actually turned out pretty good. I didn't film any of that. Wasn't much to show really, so. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Is that all of them? 7? All right, I think that's it. Call that good. New water pump in, new bypass hose in. I didn't replace whatever, I think this is it's a heater hose that runs to a metal tube back to another heater hose. That stuff all actually looked good. This looks like it had been replaced at some point, so I didn't replace it. Here's our vacuum line. I had to use a brass adapter, some fuel line hose, but I got it to work. New battery cable, see coming in down here. That's our negative cable, and it snakes up over here. Got this. I had to build a new ground wire. I guess this is to ground basically the engine to the chassis, you know, fuel injection stuff, I'm sure. Because this one was a 3-pronger and the one I bought was just a 2. So you had this little really rough shaped ground wire to something that looks important that goes inside the car. So I snipped the good part off, used the lead here on this one. Anyways, that's done. New positive cable, like I said, black theft resistance. Same thing, passenger side. Water pump in, thermostat housing in, and our charcoal can is buried underneath there. But I think that is gonna pretty much do it for the time I've got today. Didn't get as far as I wanted to get, that's okay. But I got this other stuff done, which was gonna have to be done anyways, and it was easier without all the front accessories and the fan shroud in the way to do all this stuff way easier. So I figured let's just knock it out now. At least got the water pump on so that the silicone can dry overnight. Get that stuff in place, and we will come back tomorrow and get the front end back together and be one step closer to getting this thing out on the road. And I'm still waiting on a fuel tank. Today's Sunday, that should come in on, I think it's Tuesday, so I don't want to wait that long. So we may be driving it with the bucket. We'll see. We're meant to, yeah, the bucket's probably safe. We can do that. Anyways, see you guys tomorrow. Good morning. Back at it here with the Grizz Wagon. We have officially entered into the snake oil portion of the show. Got some of this Lucas power steering stop leak left over from, I think I was going to use this on the Blazer, and decided I didn't like the Blazer, so I got rid of the Blazer. But we might have a little bit of a leak here. Well, we do, but I think I dumped most of it on the floor when I had the pump off. But it does look like we might have a little seepage. I don't know. Whatever it is, it's not bad enough that I'm replacing any parts. So I figured, let's just top it off with this stuff. I mean, what's the worst that could happen, right? I can't think of a single thing that could go wrong. I don't know. Does this work for Fords? I guess it does. It doesn't say. I guess it works for everything. Okay. Let's see if I can remember how all this goes. That sound good to y'all? Hang on. Let me check one more time. Not bad. I think we got a winner. I was a betting man. I'd guess this is next. I know this goes something like that. Wait, no, this one on top like that. It's like Legos. You just got to find the right piece and just keep putting it somewhere until it fits. Tight. y'all remember this. If we don't have any sparkulator on, check this red wire because the connector kind of looked kind of out and I'd pushed it in yesterday. So this is getting to be borderline too much stuff under here. Just had to have this thing. Although if I'm being honest, I would have rather had an older one with carburetor on it, but those are kind of hard to find. We got a fresh Gates belt going on. And remember, always put the label facing out. That way it's easier to read. It's just nice for the next guy that has to fix it. Okay. Let's see if we can snake the fan in there. Actually, I'm going to have to put the fan in with the shroud. Probably will. And I know what you're thinking. It's a great time to do a fan clutch. And it is. So we're going to put this one back in. You got to leave some of the things for the trip, you know. You don't want to have all the fun too soon. No, it actually feels fine. And we'll know pretty soon if it's not. I'm gonna go ahead and get these bolts in here, get this tightened up, nothing to see here, move along, and we'll come back and we'll tackle something else here in a minute. We're getting closer. I got the air cleaner and all that stuff cleaned up, ready to go back in. I pulled this is the coolant reservoir slash washer fluid reservoir out. It had a bunch of mud and crap down in the bottom of it, so I figured we did all the cooling system, might as well get that cleaned out while we're at it. I'm kind of curious if the washer pump works. I mean, it's not like the end of the world if it doesn't, but it'd be nice to know if it does, so figured while it's out, let's check it. Sure does. Sure does. We got a working washer pump, that's fun. Assuming everything from there to there is in tip-top shape, we can clean our windshield. Anywho, $2 air filter. This is a Pro Motive by Purolator. It was the cheapest one on Rock Auto, but it's an air filter, so it ought to get the job done. Unfortunately, somebody lost this one clip right here. That's pretty tight. Probably won't hurt anything. It's not like we're going to take it out in the desert or anything. There we go. Get our cold air intake here on. Maximum horsepower. I think these are rated at 150, 55, 45, something like that. Y'all look it up. Tell me down in the comments. What is it? You get more torque though. I think you get like 275 torque or something, but you don't have any power. I'll probably regret it, but I guess we'll go ahead and put the coolant in it. Y'all let me know if you see it running out on the ground. So a few things that we want to look for this time around. Do we have charging? We never got to check that before because the belt disintegrated as soon as it started. And does the AC work? I'd like to know. It was retrofitted 24 years ago. Maybe it still works. That's a good sign, at least instead of it being 90, 20, 35, 30, 37 years old. It's only 24 years old. Pick up, pick up, pick up. Take a little bit. The belts are staying on. It's a plus. Water pump's doing water pump things. It's good. It's not dripping up under the water pump anymore. All right, let's go ahead and check some voltage here. Okay. We got charge. That's good. 14.8, 14.79. All right, that's good. Let's keep putting some coolant in it and we'll check the AC. All right, preliminary take. We got some kind of small leak right there. And best I can tell, it's coming from top of the engine. I see something a little moist. It's very hard to see. I'm trying to get in there with a mirror and it's just really hard to see. I think it's gonna have to do with the heater line or the steel pipe or one of those back there in the back, I think. Although I smell something burning back there too and I saw smoke, but I think it's just a buildup of leaves and debris and stuff. Trying to catch on fire. Probably need to replace those hoses back there anyways. It's just something we'll get to, but it's not gonna prevent us from driving it, I don't think. Whatever that other thing is might burn it to the ground, so we need to make sure that's not a problem first. We're charging. Did not get to check the AC. Did have a pretty big power steering drip going on too, but looking at it now, it seems to have stopped. And I think it's when I had that power steering pump off and laid over, I think a lot of it ran out of the reservoir, down the pump, got into the hose. There's like a sleeve, a protective sleeve on the hose. I think it was all down in there and it's running out and dripping out now, I think that's what's going on. Let's check the AC and then we'll take it from there. All right, she fired up. Let's see, auto, low, I don't know. Try high, vent, I guess. Ah, it's not blowing again, hang on. Blower motor in this thing is also junk. Yeah, I got a new blower motor, we got to replace that too. But earlier I whacked on it and it came on. So let's see if we can do that real quick. Yeah, she's not on. Well, come on. Yeah, I guess she's done. Nope. All right, new blower motor in. That wasn't too bad. Not as painful as it could have been. Yeah, I know, our compressor is, I don't think, working. All right, fill her up. Ding ding, I'll take $5 of your premium. Seems like a good idea. That'll get us a little ways. Perfect. We have our fuel system secure-ish, secured. Should probably put a lid on it, huh? Let's put a lid on it. All right, I like that a lot better. Now we have a safer-ish fuel system. That's much better. That's much more stable. Okay, perfect. Moving on. Well, now would be a good time to check the transmission fluid, as I suspect it's pretty low. Now that we have it running. Yeah. What is that? Don't add in the crosshatch. There's a dot, there's another dot, and then there's below that, and that's where we're at. So we're probably knocking on 3 quarts low. Okay, now let's see where we're at. And the middle of the crosshatch, that'll work. Close enough. All right, here we go. Here goes nothing. Let's see what we can do here. All right, y'all let me know if you smell smoke. Ooh, power steering works now. Okay, it's made it to the end of the driveway. Drives poorly. Smells terrible. Speedometer works. Trip odometer works. Odometer probably works. Gear shift indicator not accurate. What's rolling around back there? She's got a lot of hesitation. Probably a very dirty fuel system. We got a tire that's not happy. Come on, baby. Come on. There we go. Turn signals work? Shoot. How fast will it go? There's a shift. 35. Smell something. Probably should head back. Yep, she just died. She just died. Okay. We tempted fate. All right. Let's see what happened here.
I told you we had something leaking coolant on the back of the engine, which luckily it has developed a worse leak. So now it'll be a lot easier to find. And while we're under here, we might as well use this fresh pavement and see what else we got. Is that me? Probably. Yeah. Power steering.
All right, see if we can get it home before it completely quits on us. And we're off. Almost there. Come on, baby. You're almost there. You're almost there. Almost. Almost. And we made it. Well, I think that's going to do it this week for our 1989 LTD Country Squire, aka the Grizz Wagon, or at least that's what I'm calling it for now. We'll workshop that. If you guys got any other better names, let me know down in the comments. But this week, it runs and it drives, but that's about it. I think we've established it has forward gears and that it will run. It doesn't sound like there's any catastrophic engine issues, but we have a host of issues to work through if we're going to get this thing ready to go 3,000 miles through several states in the summertime. So that's what I'm up to next. We'll get this thing tuned up a little bit and get some of these issues worked out, get these bugs worked out of it. Thank you guys very much for watching. I appreciate it. If you do like what you're seeing today, just feel free to like, subscribe, comment, all that stuff. That helps my channel grow and lets YouTube know that people are actually watching this content and that they enjoy it. So, and I appreciate it very much. Social media, I'm on social media. It's at fixinrusty, all the stuff. If you guys are into that sort of deal, that's it. It's hot. I'm gonna turn the AC unit on. I gotta sit down and start editing this video. So I guess I'll see you guys on the next one.